All right, Lean Maniacs, if you're watching this, it's probably because you saw the name Chuck Ceccarelli from In the Ditch Towing. This guy needs no introduction in the lean community, and what he has created is mind-boggling. And normally when we do plant tours and stuff, we just, we go into the factory and we video everything, and it's exciting and great, and we all learn stuff. But I knew that Chuck had wisdom that he was going to bestow on us far, far beyond just a plant tour. So we put a mic on Chuck the minute we walked in, and we didn't turn it off until the minute we left. And I am so glad we did that. There's no words for the visit that we had with Chuck. Life-changing is probably an understatement, to be honest. And even this video probably won't do it justice, but you should get the essence of what was going down. And so this is going to be broken up into 3 parts. We got the part 1 is meet Chuck. Part 2 is going to be the walk to the factory. And that was probably just as good as the plant tour. Oh, like I said, I'm just so glad we mic'd them up. And then part 3 is the plant tour. So I know in the social media world, long videos aren't the way to go, but I don't care. I could not edit out 1 minute that we spent with Chuck, and I want to share every last second with all of you. So without further ado, let's go.
Well, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. For us, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal for all of us, yeah. It's nice to have people here, and we want people to know they feel very welcome. Probably our #1 way to sell motorhomes. You imagine what it means when you walk in.
Yep.
So years ago, it was probably 3 years ago, I hired a lady named Anne Marie Sabbath. We paid her $8,000 to come teach us etiquette. And one of the things we learned is you always put the woman's name first, if it's a couple,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
She taught me how to shake hands with a woman. She says, always shake for a pulse. That's the right grip.
Oh, wow.
I don't know, does it bother you if a guy doesn't shake your hand stout?
If it's a weak shake, I
Yeah,
don't like that.
yeah. So I used to, I used to go, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
and she
Yeah, we
taught
don't
me,
like that.
no, we don't,
We don't like
but if you shake for
Yeah.
a pulse, so I'm shaking to feel your pulse, that's the right grip
Interesting.
for a
Yeah.
lady. And
Yeah.
then she taught me, and this is a fun one, if you're at a get together and you don't know who to talk to, she said, go stand by a window. And if you stand by the window, people will come up and, hey, nice weather, or
Yeah.
just little things, because it's a big deal when somebody we sell $1 million motorhomes in Mountain Home, Idaho. You know what I mean, a town of
Yeah.
10, 12,000, 15,000 people. So when people fly here, they're coming over other dealers that they could buy from, and they land here. We want them to feel special. Every day when somebody comes, if they're coming in to buy a motorhome, our marketing department, they try to do a little something where they're from,
Oh, cool.
and
Yeah,
people
personal.
stop. We have a big
Oh, there you
ATC
go, yeah.
event coming. If you need a restroom, they're down there.
You should be in the office furniture business and just sell those desks.
We are now.
You are, really.
And I'm gonna get wound up today, but have a seat. People say employees are the biggest asset, right? Would you agree?
Yes.
overwhelmingly. Like, you're just not gonna grow if you can't get people on board. It's just not gonna happen. And then I always said, how many people actually prove it? So
Right.
when we built our factory, which we're gonna go through, we interviewed the people that work there and said, okay, if you're in an office setting, what are some things we can do for you? Well, we got into the Vera desk. There's a lot of things they didn't like, so we started writing down what they wanted in a desk. Go up and down. They got tired when they cleaned that the wires were laying on the floor, so we integrated our wires into the track so it moves up and down with the desk. And we just did things, and then the other thing we're really big about is culture. So when we built these, the little walls, cubicle walls came out, and actually just about 2 weeks ago, they just peeled one layer back. And to get more people socialized, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll see, so when we worked with the people in production welding, I noticed guys and girls going home, welders, you know, anybody that welds all day, this is how they walk to their car at the end of the day. And so we developed a line of welding tables that go up and down so that they can weld in position all day long. And that's all stems from caring about people. And I'm a big Zig Ziglar fan, and he says, help enough people get what they want, and you'll get what you want. And we want you to go home at the end of the day and still have some life left in you to spend with your children and your family and your community. We don't want to take it all, extract it all out of you during the day, right?
Right.
So that led us to developing these tables. Long way to go, but, and actually this table, if you would have came here 6 months ago, it was this high off the ground because we were all stand-up. Get in, get it done, get the hell out of here. Well, then we noticed we were leaving some people behind because they couldn't stand that long, and so, anyways.
I'm Shyam. I work for the Stallback. I'm an electrical engineer, so I look for the electrical programming and wiring and electrical designs and troubleshoot.
And robot installs.
And robot
And
installs.
edge sander installs.
Yeah.
And edge sander building.
And whatever necessary for the company that I can
That's more
offer.
accurate.
Welcome.
I'm Kyla. I work with my door factory process engineer and all the little things in between there. And then I also help out with Kaizenify and go to companies and implement Kanban systems and SOPs.
Awesome.
And
And
went to school for lean.
yeah. At the University of Toronto, I did a process engineering course and graduated from that about 2 years ago.
Awesome. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm Shayna, and I work for my door factory as well as Stolbeck. So I help Sham wire the machines, and then I'm also a process engineer on the floor making doors.
Awesome. Welcome.
I'm Lynn Thompson. I am the other half of Quantum Lean, the boots on the ground consulting, and then Kaizenify.
Awesome.
And one of the things I'm super interested in talking to you about at like some level is like you have several brands all happening and you manage it so well and I manage it so poorly, and I'm dying to know when just like a little bit about us. I know I'm always calling you for help, but basically we started out with the door company, and so we manufactured cabinet doors, and then we wanted to go faster and be better and all of that stuff, and then we did like lean tours with like Paul's a good friend of mine and Greg Glebe and these guys showed me, hey, you can actually build your own machines. Like, it never occurred to us. We just thought we bought machines, and so we started to build our own machines. And one of the things we tackled was a sanding robot, and hadn't been done before, and we bet the farm, and we took us 2.5 years. We got it working, and I remember standing there looking at it on the first day it was running production, and my CFO looks at me and he goes, I think we're gonna have to tell people about this one. And we put one video on YouTube, and the rest is history.
And that's Stolbeck.
That was the birth of Stolbeck. We're shipping machines all over North America, Australia. 2 are going to Ireland this month.
And then from there, there was other machines we needed in the factory that didn't exist, and we're like, hey, we did that, let's keep going. And so now we have probably five machines that we manufacture and sell primarily to the woodworking industry. While we're doing all of that, we're trying to, get lean and be better. And we noticed that making all of our Kanban cards was clumsy, our SOPs, like it's all in Google Docs and Excel, and it was not lean. And so we started developing a software just pretty much for us. And then we realized, wait a second, this is really good. And so then we rebranded the software as Kaizenify, and now we made that available to the world. And it's a full, you get a financial dashboard now and Kanban's SOP trained, it's a full lean.
Kristen's already just texted me. She's going to be part of the guide. Tour the guide, and she says, hey, I want to get a trial. I'm up for a trial.
You don't have to hit us up for anything. It's yours. Just, whatever you need, you just tell. But yeah, and we have the latest innovation there was a defect tracker that we put in, and it tracks all the defects in your factory and weights them and automatically puts them up on your screens in your morning meeting for your top 3, so you can always work on your top 3. So anyway, so super proud of that one as well. And then Quantum Lean is Lynn, and she travels all over the world just kind of helping companies do the lean thing. And me personally, I think I probably am the worst leader, the worst at lean, the worst everything, and you're the best, so that's why
that's
I'm here.
awesome. I think it seems a trend within people trying to be lean leaders that you never feel. They talk about it in one of the books that you go home at the end of the day feeling like you're kind of a failure. Right?
Yeah, every day.
I could have done more, and that's it's kind of weird unless you're kind of in that to understand what that feels like, right? We have such a little amount of time on Earth, and it feels like we are just wasting every moment or there's time we could be spending helping others. I got to tell you guys, I went through a bit of a revelation lately, especially to share with you guys. I'm actually in my farming clothes because I'm trying to be semi-retired. But
I can see it's working.
we have a ranch, me and my wife, and we're building a home and a barn and an arena, and we put in pivots, and we're farming it, and then God graced us with a golf course, a resort in the mountains. I don't golf, and we're having so much fun whenever you do a lean tour, you always hear people, Henry Ford always said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Yeah.
And we would give tours, and one of the guys at the end of the tour go, this will never work for us. We're just too big a company. And then the guy at the back of the tour goes, man, this could work. You know what I mean? But so we're excited to take these lean ideas to our resort and our golf course and implement them. And because they're basically just tools, right? But here's the thing, the revelation that I was excited to share. The typical contractors that are building our house, our shop, and all of this, and they're great, wonderful, talented crews. Don't get me wrong, right? But I got to thinking that all of these contractors go cost plus, right? So for those of you that don't know, they go and buy lumber and they invoice you for 10 or 20% over what it costs. Their labor, no matter how long it takes them to build a wall, at the end of the day, they turn in those hours. And I've been getting very frustrated by that because the value just isn't there, right? I would, another quick example, asked the guy how much to haul my bulldozer from here to our resort. It's 50 miles away. And he goes, well, I'm 140 an hour. And I go, what happens if you get behind somebody slow? Because I know your truck doesn't have a lot of power.
Right.
Do you charge for that, or do you charge me for what your truck should take to get there and back? And he got upset, and so I bought my own truck. And we own our own earth moving equipment now because I call it eliminating excuses, right? But I'm kind of leading to the crescendo. What I started to understand, the miracle of lean, when you look at society as a whole, if I'm an employee and I work for somebody that's cost plus, what is my incentive to do anything better? As a matter of fact, the longer it takes me, the more money the company bills.
Right.
And I thought, what a travesty for the employees that work for companies that don't bid jobs. Because there's just why should I go to work and try to get better today? They don't pay me anymore. And that was something I did that I always catch when people start talking about tack time, cycle times. One of the things that we've always done as a company is we never, ever set the time for you to match. It was always driven by the people in the Gemba. How long should it take us to build this cabinet? Who built it, by the way? Let's write that number down, and then let's monitor it, right? And then at the end of a month, let's pick a number that an average human with average training can build it, and that's our tack time. Mm-hmm. And then we were careful to never change that because we don't want you to think that if you go faster today, they're just going to turn the wick up on me. It's always been when the employee comes back, goes, you know what? We're knocking these things out and standing for 20 minutes. Can we lower the tack time on it?
Right.
But the big revelation to me was we're so unfair to society because like by the employees not being challenged. Let me back up. The other day, we failed to order a part on time, and so we overnight UPS the part in. And I got to thinking that the money we spent on the overnight UPS did zero to benefit anybody on planet Earth, other than we gave more money to UPS. Like, had we not made that mistake, we could have took that $87 extra that we paid in overnight and we could have gave it to a homeless person.
Right.
We could have gave it to a school. We could have reinvested it back into our employee retirement program. Am I making sense?
Totally.
And all of this is just waste. The tariffs, right? All kinds of topics on the tariffs. You know what my big concern is? We're going to tell people overseas, you got to pay more to ship to the United States, which makes me a U.S. manufacturer more competitive, so I don't have to work as hard at being competitive. That's a huge fear. Yeah. Because, so when I go give my speeches, and I swear to God, I have it, I'll show you. If you guys want to see our car collection, I'll show you at the end of the day.
Yes, please.
I have a manhole cover. And I've saved it. 20 years ago, I was out back and I was standing on a manhole cover with my, sobbing because I can't figure out how to build stuff on time. And I'm looking at this manhole cover and it says made in India. Now you tell me, how can somebody build a 300-pound manhole cover 8,000 miles away, ship it here, go through 4 levels of distribution and end up in Mountain Home, Idaho, cheaper than I could have made it? It's utter bullshit. Mm-hmm. And as U.S. manufacturers, we've gotten fat and lazy, and we stopped challenging people. We stopped, losing, or that pioneering spirit, and all of that has just left us. And we need to get it back. And that's probably what excites me about Lean the most, is this opportunity to just really improve everything. There, I'm done. See you later.
Just listening to Chuck again gives me goosebumps. I hope you're enjoying it. Just remember, there's 3 parts to this, so if you're on the first one, look for the other 2. If you're on the second one, find the third one. You know what I mean. But there's nuggets of gold in each one of them. Oh, and before I forget, we also didn't miss the opportunity to sit down with Chuck in his studio, and we did a podcast, and this was our one and only podcast where we did not have a time limit and we did not put the brakes on. If Chuck was talking, we were recording. So look out for that podcast. You can find it on YouTube and Spotify. Just search On the Shop Floor. We'll see you there.